What up, y'all? It's Panda AOD.
And Gem City Nate.
Gem City Nate. And you are listening to
Baycast.
Baycast. Hey, Bay.
Hey, Bay.
Hey, Bay.
Hey, Bay.
Hey, Bay.
All right.
I'm not going to laugh this time.
She's chuckling inside.
So, today I want to start off with talking about temptation, which came up very,
right before
randomly.
this episode. Right before this episode.
You want to tell people why that topic came up, babe?
Well, I give people the benefit of the doubt. And this is my explanation. I thought that this lady was reaching out because, I do most of my advertising on Facebook. And so with weddings, Soul Gems Productions, if you're looking to book a wedding anytime soon, give me a call and I'll be happy to do it for you. But that's what I thought she was reaching out for. So usually, folks in the brides to be or whatever reaches out through Facebook Messenger, and they in order for me, privacy settings, I have set up that you had to be a friend to send a message. So she sent a friend request, accepted.
I'm trying to tell Max to go.
Oh, lay down. So I told her all that, and then I get a message. She was like, "Hey, how are you?" And I'm like, "All right, nah, I don't know how to read this." So, and then she sent like 3 question marks, like eager, like she really wanted me to respond back. So, like, long story short, she was talking about she wanted to get to know me and this and that. I'm like, nah, I can't do that. No, that's not going down. And Shonda was like ready to go through the daggone phone and wring her neck out.
He's exaggerating. That is not what it was.
He told me to cut it out.
Nate told me that this girl dropped him a line in his DMs. And so then I was like, well, just respond, just cut and dry professionally.
No.
And yes, that's what I said. I said, just respond, keep it real cool, and just see if she's interested in your services. So he responded. And then she followed up where it was like, she's clearly not interested in his services. She's more interested in trying to get to know him.
Right.
She pulled the whole, you were in my friend recommendations, but I don't know you, but I would like to.
Wow.
And so then I told him, I was like, just tell her, no, thank you. I'm okay.
Yeah.
That was what I said. I was not ready to jump through the phone.
Yeah, but I wouldn't blame you if you did.
And the reason why I wasn't ready to jump through the phone is because I don't get offended or get mad when girls try to talk to Nate. He's cute. He looks good. You're going to try to talk to him. I just know that he is not going to follow up.
Oh, what?
You're not going to follow up.
I ain't going to follow what?
With them. I'm saying I'm not worried because I know girls are going to try to talk to you, but I know you're not going to follow up.
Oh, yeah, no. It's for the birds, as you and your friends would say.
No, this past weekend when we went to go see Christina, shout out Christina, who's a bridesmaid for our wedding. She told Nate, because she went to our high school too, that back in the day, people thought he was for the birds.
Which I totally disagree.
Meaning he had all the girls.
I disagree.
He been mentioning that since then, Christina, so you definitely tugged. You hit a soft spot for him.
I'm like, for the birds. What are you talking about? For the birds, man.
But so I guess that's why we led into the topic of, your significant other being, or temptation. So how do you feel? As far as temptation, I want to talk about one, just the temptations that can be out there, and then how we both feel like, you navigate that. So for me, I think some of the immediate temptations of anyone, like if you're in a relationship or not, is attractive people. So that's one thing. You might go to the grocery store. You might go get some food somewhere. You might be out with your friends. There's always going to be attractive people around. Another thing would be like, I think porn is a temptation.
You got me right when I took a swig.
And another one would probably be
Would you say food porn?
no. I mean, temptation to me, I'm talking
Oh,
about
that
like,
butter. That butter.
oh my god, I'm talking about like sexual attraction,
Some
and then also, I would say another temptation could just be
what's it? What's the one? Emotional.
yes, emotional attraction.
Like,
Yeah.
like they listen to me. They hear me. They understand me.
So let's talk about physical and emotional.
Oh shit.
So with physical attraction, I don't really have an issue in that arena at all. As far as like with Nate, like I don't care. I know girls are going to be attracted to him. He will be attracted to women too. But I think for me, I feel like he is really in love with me. Like I feel like he really loves me. So like I don't get concerned about physical temptation like because we can all be attracted to somebody physically. There's guys where I'm like, "Oh, he is cute," or he look good, but I still don't want to talk to them because I have such a great guy at home, so it doesn't bother me.
Yeah, no, I heard that, and even growing up, it's just like even Mama said, like, yeah, it's gonna be a pretty folk out there. There's a whole bunch of people that you can look at. You like that. That's what God gave you eyes for. You can appreciate someone's like natural beauty, but the act of lust, that's when you get in trouble and you accept those temptations, and then that's when you go off the deep end. But if you just appreciate somebody's beauty, that's like the Beehive appreciating Beyonce. That's attractiveness right there, and that's like folks who's fans of Rihanna, or folks just I don't know idolizing athletes or whatever. Like you admiring them, the looks or whatever that they do. It's just like you just appreciate them. You're not going after them, but that's
And I
where,
think that's a good point too, that lust and physical attraction are different. So like lust I think is a dangerous temptation.
yeah, because then that's like a personal craving that you trying to fulfill. I'm like that ain't me.
Lust is very dangerous. Like I completely have seen lust just kind of tear people kind of apart. And I think that if you can acknowledge it, if you can identify lust, then you're a step closer to getting rid of that temptation. But lust is one of those things where it's kind of like he said, a craving, like something that is constantly like it's kind of like a hunter after a catch. And we all know, we done seen it out there. We got plenty of stories around. There is plenty of people who do fall to lust. And it's just one of those things where I don't personally know. I mean, in our relationship, that has never been an issue. And I don't think I've ever had an issue of lust in a relationship. Being single, I definitely had to fight lust because there was some fine men out there. There was some situations that could have took place.
Situations.
But I just knew I didn't want to do it. Like because I was working on myself, and I think that it's so easy when you're single, especially if you're attractive, they're attractive. It's so easy to get drawn in by lust. But I was at a point in my life after college and even in college when I was going through my spell of just being single and not wanting to talk to anybody, you definitely get tempted. But for me, the motivator to not give in to lust was that I was working on myself and I had dealt with some people who made me not want to do that. Because trust and believe, I would be lying if I said I never gave in to lust. I have had some situations when I was single where I definitely was like, cool. And the guy that I gave into was not worth the lust. Like, it was fun in the moment, but then that light bulb turned on and I was like, I'm gonna let him go. But I did it so player, y'all. It was so player how I did it.
So player. She did it so player.
He was just playing games the whole time. So we would hook up, like, and I don't mean hook up just like, get it on. But we would like link up when we was in the same city, have a good time, bring my friends out. He'd bring his dudes out. But then he would just fall off or be real weird. So the last time he hit me up, we was in the same city, and I had my girls. He was like, "Come through, I got my guys." And knowing the type of guy he was, he wanted to be seen by his guys as that guy that can just call girls up, they come through. So he called me up. I told him, we gonna come through. Sure, we'll be there. Never showed up.
That's player. So player.
Never showed up. And we actually went out with a different group of guys and had a blast. So
plot twist.
But that was my lust. That was my lustful situation. Have you ever had like a? I'm sure you have.
I plead the fifth. Lust? What is that word?
Nate was like the little lion cub out there with the cougars.
Hey, man. I'm going to tell you like it is what it is and how it is. I just did what I did, and we just kept it rolling. Nobody was hurt.
What?
Nobody was hurt.
Oh, my God. Lord Jesus, have mercy. So, going further into the whole topic of temptation and all of that. So, you heard our individual stories or lack of a story.
If you know, you know.
But so for me, avoiding temptation or staying away from it is simple. It's just finding somebody who does not make you look elsewhere. And it's not just on them, it's on you too. Like, sometimes the person you're with can be amazing. They can be like doing everything right, and you still are tempted. But then that's up to you to...
Damn.
For real, it happens. So it's like, there's a little bit of rationale that has to kick in. Like, you can't always act just off of the instinct.
You got to think with this head, not the other head, fellas.
So that's just my own perspective. Like, again, we're not relationship experts or experts on anything that we talk about. So
no. But I can give you some experience.
No, you can't.
What?
You said you plead the fifth. That nobody was hurt.
Yeah, nah, but I'm just saying, like, speak from our experience, but ain't going on record.
So, that's cool. All of that is what it is. Like, because I think it's so hard for us to really dive deep into that other than giving our own perspectives, our own experiences, and just what we think as far as avoiding temptation, which is to just use your rationale. Like, if you have a good person, just put some ice on it.
Yeah. But, like, not to keep going on this topic, but if you have anything to add to it, send us a message on the page and we can, have a little dialogue behind the scenes.
You can send us a message on the page. We'll bring it up the next episode. Or you can also, on Anchor, you can leave us a voicemail. And if you leave us a voicemail, then we'll answer those questions as well. And on Anchor, we are Baycast. If you just search, you'll find us. But moving on from that, since we're talking about temptation with other people and attraction, what is the most attractive thing about your significant other?
The eyes.
Ooh.
They get me.
He's never said that to me, so this is new.
Mm-hmm. What about you, darling?
For me, the thing that I'm most attracted to Nate about is his smile. No, it's his smile. He has the most, beautiful, soft, gentle smile that I've ever seen. But I like a lot of stuff about him. So that's my one if you tell me. But, I mean...
We ain't gonna go into detail.
He's built great. He is fun. He is sweet. It's just a lot of things. But, my favorite thing will be the smile. He just recently got hair. He didn't even think he could grow hair.
He ain't sound like I bought it. He just recently got hair. He got it for a 2-for-1 bundle.
Yeah, look at you knowing about bundles. Okay.
I'm done.
So, obviously, we're happy. Obviously, we have a good time. We joke around, whatever.
But we get on each other's nerves.
And we've been getting on each other's nerves today.
Bruh.
How do y'all... I want to know... Y'all can leave messages in the comments, or y'all can
Text.
Leave a voicemail on Anchor.
Do something. But
You said text.
whatever.
You putting your phone out there?
No, but get the message across, because this has got to stop.
I want to know how y'all get along with y'all significant others grocery shopping.
Oh, no, not just grocery shopping, period. But just because you mentioned grocery shopping, there is no getting along with Shonda at grocery shopping. I always fear hitting her in the back of her heels with the cart because she walked too daggone slow. I told her I want to get in and out, and she want to meander and take as long as she want to, going up and down the aisle. Where is this? Where's the turkey sausage? Where's this? Where's that? Where's that? Well, how many times we done been to the store? And then when you get to the cashier, you be like, what we gonna do? What we gonna do? I told you what we gonna do. We put the
We're not going to bring up the cashier.
Oh my god,
we're not.
It's just
we would go back and forth like we did in the car. We're not gonna do that.
Yeah, which was dead. But anyway, my point is that's why I go by myself.
And you can go by yourself all you want to if you want. I was trying to be nice and offer to go.
And I like the company. But for efficiency and just getting in and out, I'm going.
So Nate is one of those people when he shop, if he makes his list at home, there's no deviating from the list. I'm talking about if you put everything that you need on a list, but you somehow coffee creamer slips your mind. If you grab that creamer and it's not on the list, Nate will give you the death stare.
No, I would just kind of ask you like, "Hey, what you doing? What you doing?"
That's worse. He be like, "What's that? That's not on the list."
Because I calculated for the stuff that we wrote down so that I know what my budget was going into the store. There wasn't no extra stuff. That's why I understand now all these years when my mama said, don't touch that, don't look at that, don't speak on that. Keep your hands in your pocket. That's why that's what it's coming to fruition now.
One thing that I want to do better, because some of that stuff Nate is anal.
No, I am.
When it comes to shopping.
Yeah, because I ain't trying to be all day in there.
But one thing that I want to do, my grandmother was so good. Mm-hmm. She was so good with her grocery list. Anytime she sent me to the store, she wrote her list so that you literally went around the store and ended up back at the checkout line. So like she listed everything for like the store layout. And she would always send me to Kroger. So like I'm not that talented yet, but one day I want to get there.
I be trying to emulate.
I would probably do it if I thought about it. But like with you, when we started dating, he went to Meijer all the time. I always went to Kroger. My grandmother shopped at both, so I'm sure she would have knew like the layout of Meijer. But like I'm still getting used to it. And Meijer is closer to where we are. Now there is a Kroger just a little bit down the way, so I could still go there, and sometimes I do. But some days I just really don't feel like driving them couple extra miles. But I really do want to get to a point where I'm doing like she did, where she would literally have you like at produce, and then you might go to the dairy like the dairy stuff, the frozen, I don't know, just however the store was laid out. It was like she would take you in a circle just for you to end up at the checkout line. So
no, that's what I be thinking of, and that's what I be trying to do every time I make the list. But then I start with the eggs, but then we go from eggs, toothpaste, milk. We play ping pong at freaking Meijer. Like
I will go get stuff though just to get away from Nate. So like,
what?
If we're in the bread aisle and he's like, okay, I'm like, what else is on the list? And he's like, the pizza or syrup, something that's in a different aisle. I will go get it.
I actually put syrup down because how you gonna put pancake mix down but not syrup? And I'm like, babe, do we need syrup? Yes. Well, why didn't you put it on the list?
I don't know if we completely ran out yet though, but I know it was getting low.
Anywho.
But so that's just a little insight on our shopping, y'all.
No. And driving.
We ain't gonna talk about driving.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about driving.
Talk about it.
You suck.
You suck.
You suck.
So my issue with Nate's driving is that he drives like a grandpa on the street.
Nah.
He drives like Seabiscuit on the highway. So it's a complete like polar opposite situation. You go hella fast on the highway. He's doing better. I will give him his props because he used to be bumper to bumper with these cars. Like,
Nah.
I hate when people drive bumper to bumper, and there's so many people that do because I done rode with all of y'all, and y'all need to get it together because that is not fun.
You been in more fender benders than me.
First of all,
Sure. If you keep it 100.
first of all, I have been in a total of 2 fender
Was it
benders.
2?
It was 2.
Was it 2?
It was 2.
All right. What's the 2 more than me?
I've been in a total of 2 fender benders, and the reason I got into those fender benders was my fault. Well, one of them was my fault. I literally just like was on the highway. Oh, so I was driving to work, and I was in the fast lane, like the passing lane, and traffic just started to slow down real bad. So I was going to turn out to get around and go into a different lane. And I was paying so much attention to oncoming traffic that I wasn't paying attention to the car in front of me. And so I went to get out and go, and I'm making sure I'm not hitting somebody coming this way. And the car in front of me was going out. So when I turned, I clipped her car, tore my front end off, like the right, so the left side driver panel, tore that off. And her car had like a little dent.
So in that scenario where I will be driving, wouldn't you tell me to just slow down
Yeah, no,
on
I
the
can
brake?
admit I was wrong with that one. The second time, the fender bender, I was in the post office parking lot,
Parking lot.
and it was the other guy's fault. He was driving a pickup. For those of you who don't know what type of car I have a little baby Toyota Corolla, very low to the ground. It's my car. I love it. It gets me in and out of traffic, very fuel efficient. But this man in this big old pickup truck must have just not seen my car because he backed out of his the parking space at the post office. I was already pulled out. He backs out into me and dents literally the middle of my trunk all the way in. And I don't want to bore you out with the fine details, but
Fine details.
but all in all, I would say like I do think it was only 2. It might have been 3, but that year was tough. That was the year that my grandmother was getting sick, and that was the year that she passed, like in that time frame. So I got into a couple car accidents. The rest of my track record, like my driving record, no accidents from when I got my license to now. I had one instance in college where I bumped somebody's car, didn't leave, not one scratch. But other than that, never. And even in that instance in college, I was stressed out. Like, and when a police officer, because I did call the police, I was responsible every time. I have insurance. The police officer was like, "What happened?" And I literally looked at him. I was like, I just blanked. Like, I just blanked out. Like, I was driving and I literally just kind of like blanked. But that was like finals. I was graduating. I was stressed. It's no excuse, but that was the only other time. So like what I found with myself is when life is that like overwhelming to the point where I'm needing a mental break, that's when those instances have happened. And I would encourage anybody and tell anybody, if you are feeling like super stressed to the point where it's affecting your attentiveness, your alertness, if you are feeling overwhelmed, or if you are feeling like, even if you're down, if you are just struggling with some type of trauma, take time to just breathe it out. Go see a professional if you need to. Do not just hop in the car and press through it. Like, if you notice that you're not being as alert, or as if you're not paying attention.
I like the message that you sent at the end, but you cannot deviate from the point that it was primarily user error.
With the lady who I hit, not the guy at the post office.
Whatever. It was user error. And the fact that I get the whole year, I get that, and I get the test and all that. But that one wasn't seem more so of a stretch when he was like, I just blanked.
Oh no, yeah.
I just blanked. I just blanked.
But listen, once that happened, that was so I got my license when I was 17, and now I'm 29. So in that stint of time, when I was 22 in college, that was the only time I got into a car accident from 17 to 22. And it was I didn't even put a scratch on nobody's car. The only reason why I called the police was because it was one girl who had a stick up her butt. Like, because it was me. I bumped the lady's car in front of me, which was an older lady. And she bumped the girl in front of me. But nobody's car was damaged. And I'm not saying it was okay. Like, it wasn't okay.
Yeah, water on the bridge now.
But the old lady was fine. She was like, "Are you okay?" I'm like, "Yes, are you okay?" Cool. This other young girl was just stick up her butt, was like so nasty for no reason. Like and I could see if she had like whiplash or she felt like she did or something. Mm-hmm. She didn't complain of any pains, nothing. She just was so mad. So then when the police got there, they were like, "Oh, well, we don't." There's like we usually don't call it in or report it unless there's at least $300 worth of damage. And so they asked, everybody, and everybody was fine. And then they went to the girl, and she asked the police officer, like, "Well, what do you think?"
She just wanted to check. That's what that sounded like.
But anyway, that was that. Back to the conversation at hand.
We haven't gone back. We haven't touched on the parking.
I need to talk about you.
What is it? Lord, by the grace of God,
Nate can park.
Haven't been in an accident.
Nate can park. When it comes to parking, he can whip that thing.
When it comes to driving, I can whip that thing.
No. Nate
Period.
is not
You know the trucks that I used to drive at work?
You know how to drive vehicles, but that doesn't mean that you have the best driving. Every time I'm in a car with Nate, y'all, I get motion sickness.
No, that's on you. That's you, the individual, that gets motion sickness. I have to make sure that I roll the window down because I'm being aware. Because that's when you do as a driver. You're aware of you being a defensive driver. But even though along those lines,
he just used my own term against me because I always talk about being a defensive driver.
I was going to do that word. What? please. Nah, Mom been saying that ever since I got our license. We all got.
You're not
license.
a defensive driver though, because how
yes,
fast?
I am.
No.
Yes, I am.
For those who, and we're not gonna keep harping on this because this conversation gonna get real tired. But for those of you who drive super fast to where y'all stop and y'all bumper could kiss the car in front of y'all.
No. I never
That's
that
not
close.
A defensive driver.
I'm never that close. No,
even if your car is like a little, like if you can see the person's tail light, you're still not being a defensive driver. So what a defensive driver is you're supposed to be a car space between each car. Mm-hmm. Because you never know what that car in front of you is going to do. Mm-hmm. Or the car behind you. So if the car behind you is all up on your butt, you don't know if that person if that person rear ends you, you could rear end the car in front of you. If there's a car space between you, then if that person rear ends you, then you can probably stop your car from hitting that car. So that's why they say a car space between. That's a defensive driver. And a defensive driver also uses their turn signals in a good amount of time. Nate is one of those people that they talk about on social media where y'all use y'all turn signal as y'all turning. And then got the nerve to complain about people next to you who passing you because you slowing down, but you're not putting your turn signal on.
First of all, that is not me. That is not me. You will not do that. That is blasphemy. You will not say that. But anywho.
Lies people tell.
Ain't no lies. Shoot, check my track record. Cuz.
They don't keep track of people who don't use their turn signal.
Whatever.
If they did, y'all would use it more.
What is it? Allstate does. Allstate. Are you in good hands?
No, they don't.
You're
They don't do that.
Whatever.
So another thing I wanted to talk about though, because I was supposed to go to Florida last week.
Oh. Whew.
I was supposed to go to Florida last week. I was going to take a nice little vacation with my bestie, Larissa. She went out there to audition for some things and, you know, pursue her dreams, which is always great.
Definitely.
She had a great time. So
good.
I'm glad that she enjoyed herself. I had to cancel my trip because of COVID. I just wasn't comfortable. Granted, if I was going to, I had a little burp. If I was gonna go out there to do something that was important to me, like if it was already something that I booked, now going out there to support Larissa was important, but her mom was going to, and I knew she had somebody else to support her, and it wasn't just that it was COVID, it was travel was crazy. Like all of you saw how Spirit, they grounded all their planes. They grounded every single plane. I have friends who also were going to Florida and didn't get to go because of that. I was flying Delta, so that was fine. But still, with Spirit grounding their planes and with flights being delayed across the board with all airlines, and even with the numbers in Florida rising, they said that they're higher than they've been when COVID started, which I'm not trying to give any like factual information about COVID because I'm not that person. I haven't done that research, but from my research that I did for my trip, I knew that Florida was off the chain as far as numbers, and flights were just up in the air. You know, it was just a lot. So at first I was uneasy about going because I was catching a flight by myself, but I was like, Shonda, you a big girl, you got to push through that. You have to do this. You cannot let the fact that you're flying by yourself deter you. You are grown. So that was something that I had already I'm still going to go. Once the COVID numbers, once I started to hear more talk about that and just looking at the flights and all the stuff going on, the day before I was really just like, it's not feeling good. And then this one had reservations the whole time.
This one? You ain't going to refer to me as
not
this
in a
one.
bad way. I'm just saying this one had... Nate had reservations the whole time, just with traveling right now. So
I was more, well, you see it in the news. I'm just saying, you had a whole stint of folks, going to places, not having a concern about masks and whatnot. And then you have this increased spike in the COVID, and I'm like,
in the COVID.
Right, I was gonna say the vid, but COVID in one of the hottest places where it's taking place, like where it was when it first started, and I'm like, it ain't a good look. But like you said, you a big girl, you can make your choices.
So that's another thing. He was gonna be fine either way. He obviously was gonna feel some type of way, but he wasn't letting me know he was gonna feel some type of way. He just was kind of just.
Did I say I was gonna feel some type of way?
Let me finish. I'll explain. But he was just kind of watching, from the sideline, giving his input on what he thought. But he wasn't, telling me don't go. So then the day before, I had to have a real talk with myself. I talked to my mom. I talked to Nate. And I just decided, okay, I have to cancel my trip, cancel my flight. So I didn't end up getting money back for the hotel. I didn't want that. But as far as the flight goes, I got a credit for that, and I'll use it when I have the next opportunity to. But it just made more sense to me to stay because I didn't want to travel without a real objective for myself. I wasn't doing anything that was going to, I definitely wanted the vacation. I definitely wanted to support Larissa. But I wasn't going anywhere for a specific task for myself. And I'm not trying to say it and sounding selfish, but when I looked at the numbers and saw that the hospitals were filling up again and they're treating patients in the hallways, it just felt very irresponsible for me. And I'm not saying anybody else, but for me, I don't want to travel somewhere where these healthcare workers are really busting their butts and going through still a pandemic, still a health crisis, and still putting themselves at risk every day. So that was my ultimate decision as to why I didn't go. And once I told Nate I wasn't going, it was he was just good. Like it was just like a breath of fresh air.
Let me tell you. One, shout out to everybody, first responders doing their thing, holding it down in the hospitals and all that. But then when you say like it was irresponsible for you, like I get what you were saying, but at the same time, I'm like, at the end of the day, it's about what you're gonna do for yourself to make sure you are set up
That's true.
the best, way possible. Like,
That's true, but I felt like because I was vaccinated, because I'm like relatively healthy.
yeah, but still, it's not like
Max.
let the dog drink. But what I'm saying is, like, when you say that, you're not saying it with the concern of like having your own well being, like perspective. You're more so thinking about the first responders. Not to say nobody
I
should be
wasn't
thinking about
really
the first
worried
responders.
about, like, I literally didn't feel like I was at risk. Like, obviously, I'm sure I am, like everybody else, but I didn't feel like the risk was for me. I felt like me going out, I felt like the risks were this: I'm traveling to Florida. What if my flight gets canceled or we get grounded while I'm in Florida and I can't get back how I want to get back? Sure, I can rent a car. I don't want to spend that type of money on renting a car after putting out for a hotel, putting out for a flight. I'm going to spend money when I'm there. I don't want this unnecessary expense that I didn't see coming. And I don't want to be, I planned on sitting poolside, but even, the idea of possibly wanting to go out and explore is going to be affected because they're not going to be as open as you would want when you're traveling for like a vacation. So that was what I was thinking of. I wasn't thinking of like my personal health because like I said, I'm relatively healthy. I know there's a health risk, period, whether you have a vaccine or not. But I wasn't thinking about that because I didn't feel like, for me in my mind, I was like, that's not what I think. That wasn't what I was thinking was going to happen. I was thinking flight might get grounded. Hotel stay might not be pleasant if they shut everything down, because then all these people staying in a hotel, on a Disney resort hotel, are going to get slap happy and they can't do anything. If they're shutting down public things, then the pools get shut down, all of that stuff. I don't think any of that happened, but that's what I thought could possibly happen. And even if it didn't, I wasn't going to be comfortable maneuvering around knowing how high those numbers were and just hearing the stuff that was going on the news. So
I get all that, but I ain't thinking about all that. I'm thinking about myself. So keep it 100. And I think that's what everybody else was doing in that same predicament. So yeah.
But I do think it is important for people who are in a relationship, when you have a significant other, obviously, if you're in a relationship, but I think it's important for you to hear those concerns, regardless if you agree, regardless if you both have the same perspective or not. It's important to understand where your significant other is coming from, how they feel about stuff, and to hear them. You don't always have to agree, because if the COVID numbers and the stories weren't out there like that, I probably would have still went, and Nate didn't want me to go. He didn't think it was.
Whoa.
Chill.
Throw me under the bus.
I'm not. No, he just didn't. He didn't think it made sense at the time. Period. And so for me, I was still going to go, but I heard his concerns, and he knew I heard his concerns because he was like, "You're gonna make the best decision for you. Like, you're gonna make your decision, but just be careful." So hear your significant other's concerns and make the best decision for you. I think that's all, because our conversations ran long today.
Did they run long?
Yeah. The only other thing I had was just, one of the topics we had lately has been, house hunting, although we're not there yet. So I was just wondering, like, some of your ideal things that you want to see in like a house. Like, what do you want in your house?
What would I want in my house? Mm-hmm. Whew. Well, I would like a finished basement with a.
That's such an old man. That's a good answer, but like, out of all things,
a finished basement where I can call my man cave. I want a large TV. I want a pool table.
Why do the man cave gotta be the finished basement? Why can't you have a room that's a man cave and we have a finished basement?
All right, you let me know what the square footage of that room is, and we'll get back to you. But as of right now, that basement is the man
If
cave.
you get the basement as the man cave, then I get a she shed.
She said.
She said.
Well, she said shit. Shit.
But sorry, finish.
Nah. Yeah. So that as far as amenities, I don't know. I just threw that out there.
He just wants a man cave.
A man cave for the most part. I really want a studio.
You want a yard.
I definitely want a yard with a pool. Yeah. A white picket fence. No noisy neighbors. Well, shit, I'm gonna be noisy, so.
You are noisy. But it'll be fine because we'll be on our own land. And I don't want a white picket fence. I would like a nice fence, but like I've seen some really nice fences in Columbus, and none of them are white pickets. So
Yeah, I mean, that's just the terminology
like
you use for
like
a fenced in.
A cedar fence or something would be nice.
Cedar, whatever.
But for me, I would like a porch, although it could be a front porch or a back porch or a wraparound porch. I just want a nice porch.
Or two porches.
I just want a nice porch. I don't think I want a front and back porch. I want either or a wraparound porch.
I've never seen a wraparound porch.
They're really nice. Those houses are beautiful. So that will be something. I definitely want a nice backyard. So we both want a yard. Nice backyard. I would like front yard and backyard, like some space in between, like the sidewalk and the front of the house.
Yeah.
I would like it to be multi-level. I don't want a ranch.
What? You don't want a ranch?
No, I like steps.
My God. Oh my God.
But here's the thing.
Here it is.
Here's the thing. I don't mind a ranch though. Ideally, I would like a multi-level, but everyone who knows me knows my father suffered a stroke. So I understand the value in having a single level, and especially because I'm close to my parents and I feel like they'll visit often. I wouldn't mind a ranch just for my dad to be more, like he can maneuver how he wants to without worrying about people having to help him as much. So ranch is a possibility. But however, we could still find a really nice multi-level that has enough space and enough, enough going on downstairs to where my dad can still do his thing. So,
I feel that, but ranch over multi-level all day. I just like the fact that you can walk in and be like, oh, let's go this way. Oh, go that way. Then no, let me finish. Then you can go this way. Boom, and then have a basement too, and it's all one level. You ain't got to worry about steps. Like the only steps you got to worry about is really the basement steps. Not to say I don't like steps because I'm fit, but multi-level.
All the houses I grew up in were multi-level, so
bias.
That's probably why I feel that way. But I think it would be cool to like have downstairs being living quarters, nice kitchen. Of course, the finished basement, we agree on that. But living quarters, nice kitchen, as far as like just the social spaces and, like a pantry, patio, backyard, all that stuff like leads out to the backyard on the first level. And then the next level being like the bedrooms and all of that. And, the bathrooms, whatever. Laundry room, I would like the laundry room to be on the second floor. And then the top level be like another social space, like attic where the computers and like a lounge or something like that.
I'm sorry, but to all my future guests, love y'all, but y'all keeping y'all ass downstairs.
And that's the thing, the guests can stay downstairs. Like, okay, so having family over, say like my nieces and nephews come over, or my brothers and sisters, we can chill up in the attic and kick it. That could be like our movie area or something. If the basement's going to be the man cave, whatever. It can be for like more intimate family members versus everybody, the public. If we have people over who we're not close to, like obviously anybody that comes in our house, we're going to be somewhat cool with you. Like we know you, we respect you.
Somewhat, dang.
No, I'm just saying, like, I'm not saying we'll be like the closest, but like I feel like anybody we have at our house will be close.
You good.
But if you're not family, then that first level is fine. Like it'll be enough for people to feel comfortable. A nice big kitchen island. I want a nice kitchen
I was
island.
gonna just ask you like, what's your must-haves, and that's the top thing. And I knew you was gonna
No,
say,
so must haves, nice big kitchen island that is just an island. So not the ones that have the stove on the island. The stove can still be up against like the wall or whatever. But I want the island, and if there is a stove island, then I want two islands. But I want one island to be dedicated to sitting, like if you were at a restaurant or something. And like we can chop vegetables and stuff on there. I just don't want the stove right there or the sink or whatever. But I also want a standalone tub. Definitely want that. Like a nice soaker tub. Yes. A nice big walk-in shower. We need enough closet space. See, one thing that he wants that I don't really care for, and he's going to talk crap about it, is a pool. I don't need a pool.
I would like a pool.
But I'm okay with getting one. Like, I'm okay with that because like he wants it, and I can chill by a pool or like take a dip. I just don't swim,
Oh my god!
which I want to learn.
I don't
So
swim.
there's still that. Something else that I wanted. Let me think if there's any other must-haves, which I know there probably will be, and I'm probably forgetting. But
I want a 2-car garage. I want a pool. I want a man cave. I want a man cave. I want a man cave. I want a man cave.
I definitely want a home office area. But like, I think I really want something that I really want in my house is a sauna.
Oh yeah, I'll
I
take
feel like
that.
saunas are relaxing, and I just would really love that. Like how much he wants a man cave. I would like an office space. It doesn't have to be as big as the man cave. I would like a nice walk-in closet. Still doesn't have to be as big as the man cave. But I would love a sauna. So I could just kind of go in and just chill and just sweat it out.
How perfect would a sauna be with a pool?
That'd be good. I'm not saying it wouldn't. I'm just saying.
Mm.
There's some houses that have saunas with no pools.
Oh well, they're doing it wrong. It's just my opinion.
But that's it. So our house search.
I was gonna say, let us know what you think, ranch or town, freaking multi-level, in the comments.
Yeah. Do you guys want a ranch or a multi-level? And then
Ranch.
as far as our house search goes, though, we have time, but even thinking about everything that we mentioned, we need to start looking. Even though I've heard the market is terrible,
Yeah.
people have been in the market for at least 12, like at least a year plus. So like there's people who are saying like 16 months, 18 months, not really getting the houses they put the bids for, kind of just figuring it out. So
So if y'all know anything, let us know.
we understand that it's going to take us some time to get our perfect house too, and it doesn't have to be perfect, but it'll be perfect for us.
You talked about building one.
Yeah, but the only thing about building is a lot of the times the ones that are building, they don't have developments in the city. They kind of create their own like area.
Yeah, on the outskirts.
So like all of the houses, and some of them are like in like the suburbs, like that's not bad. It could be like 10, 15 minutes away from the city. But a lot of the new builds are like within a cul-de-sac of those houses. So like I don't know if I want to do that. I always saw myself doing like a renovation, if anything. Like I love the way old houses have like the wood beams and like the doors, the wood floors. Like I love old houses. So I would rather get an old house and renovate it. And so I was telling my friend, I was like, if we had to go like the renovation route, I would get a house as long as it's as long as it's livable. So like if we found an old house that was 5 bedrooms, but we knew we wanted to like take this wall out, we needed to redo the kitchen, whatever, I'm willing to do that as long as the house is livable. So like no pests, no mold, all that type of stuff. I think we could do it though, like home improvement stuff.
Yeah, you can find us on HDTV.
And whatever we couldn't do, we could hire a contractor because I'm not against that either.
Yeah. Well, things to think about in the near future, so keep an ear out for that. But
peace.
Love.
First of all.
I was like, that's all, folks.
But no, seriously, y'all, like, if you like this podcast, or even if you love us and you know we'll get better over time,
Yeah, man.
just go ahead, keep listening, like us, subscribe.
Go ahead.
Like, listen, subscribe, share, leave comments, leave voicemails, all of that good stuff. Peace.
Love.
Bye.
Bake ass.